Hey YouTube, this is another one of my fun vlog videos, and I just like to say I appreciate all of you who tune in to see what I'm chatting about in my shopping experience, because that's usually what I'm chatting about. Anyway, today I am going to do a fun comparison of the Too Faced White Chocolate Palette and the new palette from Becca, you know, because you don't need them both, or you may not need them. Anyway, here is the two. I have the white peach palette on one side. You see those peachy colors on one side, and then on the other side are the colors from the new Becca Jewels palette. And I just kind of thought they looked very similar, and you know, if you had one, at least on my eyes, you would essentially have the same look. Obviously the Becca's got a lot more sheen in their palette, and the white chocolate palette is more of a matte palette. But look at those soft pastel colors in the palettes. The white chocolate does have a dark black swatch, and this jewel tone palette went with a brown color there. I love that brown. I think that's about the best color in the palette. Whereas I can't compare that because the white chocolate has way more colors than the Becca palette, and I wanted to concentrate on the colors that are the most similar. Like, look at this color here, and then compare it to those pinky tones. They're very similar. As far as the frost in the white peach palette, you see that peachy frost there right around my knuckle area, but this palette only has a couple of frosts, a silver one and that peachy one. Whereas the Becca Jewel Tone palette, it has some really great sheens and frost in it. They're not high sheeny, but they're definitely sheeny. And as you can see from my eye look, I do like a good frost. And then they do have a peachy frost in there that I think is superior to the frost in this palette. This peachy apricot-y frost there is just gorgeous. And then Becca surprised me. They have a good amount of mattes. They have one, that's a matte color, the one in the middle. And then you get over here, and that gray color is a matte. I wasn't sure about that brown, about whether it's a matte or not. I kind of think it might be a matte. I'm not sure. So I just think if you love Becca, the Becca eyeshadows are sheer. They're not as pigmented as the Too Faced shadows. Oh my God, did you guys hear me say that? These Too Faced white peach shadows are pigmented. Yes, they are. So if you're a light-skinned person and you've been looking for a palette where everything won't look the same on you, I think if you're light, you might be really impressed by the white peach palette. Me, I use a lot of light colors. I use light colors all over my eyes to come up with my eye look. So I use as many light colors as light people. That's why my dark brown behind is out here looking at the white peach palette. For those of you who are, I know you comment in your mind, why is Chocolate Girl sitting up looking at a white peach palette? Don't you know? I do know. I know that I have a color much lighter than that all over this eye look before I put the rest of the eye look on it. I like to base out my eyeshadows with eyeshadow because I just think it blends better. Okay? So if I were to get one of these two, I would go for the white peach because I think the colors are much more distinctive. I think that you get a greater variety. I know that Too Faced will put their palette on sale and have it on sale for a very long time. Every time they have that sale on their own site, they will have this palette in there. So you don't have to pay $50 for this if you don't need it right away. But if you needed a palette right away, or if you were getting a gift for somebody, I would definitely go for the 50 Shades of Peach over this palette here. Now, I do have to say, the Becca palette is more dynamic. Like, I don't think my camera is picking up, but next to that dark chocolate brown color, y'all please don't get upset over my mustache and my wrinkles. This is a close-up, and I don't edit these, and you know, I don't have all that stuff to make me look perfect in the background. So just don't trip on the mustache and the wrinkles. You know, look at the eyeshadow. But anyway, right next